Good blessed throwback Thursday, May the 23rd, 2024. It's about 7:07 a.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me or anything that I say or do or produce. That's your prerogative. The United States Constitution, when it's put to the task, it gives you so many amendments to the United States Constitution that you can do some things that people just don't like the First Amendment. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom to gather, freedom to associate, freedom to protest, long as you do it in a peaceful manner. Today, what I want to talk about, those that know me, I am an ambassador of God, whether people want to accept it or not. I be sent any place on the face of this earth where people's voices is not being heard, where people being oppressed, no matter what their nationality, race, or creed may be, where people is being misused and abused, where there's racism, where there's hatredism. But I come here today because I come in this courtroom here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, the 33rd Circuit. I come here just about every Tuesday and Wednesday to sit in on the court's cases. Sometime at Wednesday afternoon, or after late afternoon when they have city court. But I sat in a trial just recently this month, May. It started May the 20th. When a jury was picked on a murder trial. It extended from the 20th, which was Monday, the 21st, Tuesday, and it ended yesterday, the 22nd, with the closing arguments, and the jury came back with a guilty verdict. But I want to talk about this because it was this was a real unique trial that you rarely see, where the two families, the family of the victim and the family of the accused, you remember a person is innocent until proven otherwise. But where both of the families, they didn't have no hatred between each other. I know the prosecuting attorney. I battled a case against her when she was an attorney, against an individual in this town that's corrupt by the name of Lester Gillespie. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And I won the case. But I got a judge from out of another jurisdiction out of Cape Girardeau. And I won another one against Lester's daughter. Both of them said that they're afraid of me, but they run around and say negative things about me or pull up on me. But that ain't what I'm here to talk about. You know, I'm praying for both of the families, the family of the deceased and the family of the individual that was just convicted. I didn't know the family of the deceased, but I got to know them. These 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 20th of May of 2024, the 21st and the 22nd of May 2024, I got to know them. I met the fathers of both sides. The deceased was white and the accused was black. Now, some people would think it would be racial tension, but it wasn't. Not between the families. But the chief of police, Robert Hearns, here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, and the sheriff, Brenton Farrow of Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. Now, they was trying to create racial tension, but they couldn't do it because God was in control. Each time, that's the courthouse right behind me. And each time that it was a break, the two families that came outside went over here next door to this Dollar General, crossed the street to this Dollar General. I'm going to show y'all all of that. Talked, spoke. And I even sat down before I knew one of them was the deceased's, related somehow to the deceased. And it was a female who sat on a bench with me. And I'm finna tell y'all the story in 1 minute here. This is the courthouse here. Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, 33rd Circuit Court. And I'm gonna tell y'all, all the sheriff deputies and all the Charleston, Missouri Police Department, they wasn't trying to create racial division. But the sheriff, Vincent Farrow, and the chief of police, Robert Hearns, I seen it from my own eyes. But the family was standing out here when I was we was waiting on them to pick the jury. And a lady came over. I was sitting on the bench right here. A lady came over and sat down, and we got to talking. And I didn't know at the time that the lady that was sitting right next to me, because of the rest of the people was over there, and they was the family of the deceased. But the lady told me, she said, that was my son-in-law that got killed. She said, at first, I hated the individual that they got for killing him. But then she said, I changed it. She said, because I know my son-in-law and I know him, the one who accused of killing him, I know both of them was on drugs. And she said, I believe if the individual that killed him wasn't on drugs, she said, I don't think he would have killed him. I don't know if he killed him or not, me personally, because I wasn't there. But she made one good point. She said, I don't hate him now. She said, I can't hate him. But she said, this would have never happened if it wasn't for that no good female who was with her son-in-law at the time. And I seen what she said when the court started going on. But when we was talking, I got a call, and I went over here where you see those two poles to the left. And when I came back, they was gone, but they was still picking the jury upstairs, and they was making everybody stay downstairs. So I asked one of the sheriff employees, I said, where did those people go? He said, oh, they let them go upstairs in the small courtroom. Now, it's burning up out here. And I said, what are they going to do for the family of the defendant? He said, we trying to figure that out now. Or they trying to figure it out now. Now, that go to show you something. They said that they're trying to separate them. But for what reason? There's not been any threats. But eventually, when some of the family of the deceased, the defendant came, and I told them the situation, and eventually they let them go inside of here, on the first floor in the clerk's office. And when I went in, the security in there, they know me because I come in there regularly. And he said, I don't know if you can go in there or not, but this is open court. I said, well, I'm here with the family of the defendant. Because he said he had to go ask somebody. He had to go ask the sheriff. You see, the sheriff, I know the sheriff don't like me. The security in there, they are private security. They don't have no reason to dislike me. because they see me come in all the time. But anyway, that was one case to show me unjust treatment, because at the time before the conviction, whether he was convicted or not, both families should be able to be accommodated equally. Let me go ahead home. The man the security guy let me go in. But then every time that it was a break or something, we came out here in front of the courthouse. I'm talking about the family of the deceased and the family of the defendant. We came out here, and let me tell you, I'm talking about hugging each other. And both of the fathers had the same thoughts that I had. And it was the fact that no matter what happens, we don't have nothing against each other. They even admitted, both families admitted, what is all that security for? I'm talking about it was more sheriff, police from Charleston, Missouri, East Prairie, Missouri, from the sheriff department and the police department here. It was more than them probably than jurors. But yet, not all. I'm talking about that's some good sheriff deputies. That's some good sheriff police. I got a chance to talk. Me and I believe she's the chief of police down in East Prairie. I didn't never really formally meet her, but me and her talk. Some of her ranking officers, they didn't. They used to work here in Charleston, Missouri, but that's no problem. The chief of police, he didn't speak. The sheriff, Brenton Farrow, he didn't speak. But some of their deputies and some of their high-ranking officials, they spoke. The security inside, they spoke. But this, I talked to the father, we hugged. And I said something, but I didn't mean it the way I said. I said, win, lose, or draw. I said, I still got love for you. And he said something that, see, I didn't really mean it like that. No, I really meant whatever happens, there's no love lost. And he said, there's no winners. He said, if the things was turned around, and I believe him, he said, if it was turned around that my son was accused of killing the defendant, he said, I would feel the same way. And I know how he felt, because my son was murdered in Carbondale, Illinois on Friday, March the 19th, 2021. He was hung. His body was bruised up. But corrupted police, like we have some here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, like we have some on the sheriff department here in Charleston, Mississippi County, they had it staged as if he committed suicide. But several times since I've been going down to Carbondale, Illinois, they've been opening it and saying that they looking better. But if you seen it was suicide, why you keep opening it? Because you know you falsified documents. But I just want to show y'all the racial tension I see now here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. It ain't the white people or the black people. It's certain individuals that created, just like the sheriff. He created. He wanted to make himself look good. Yesterday, he had one black guy that come downstairs with them that's not even a sheriff deputy. You see what I'm saying? He's just somebody that opens the doors and stuff inside of the jail, a jailer. He wasn't a deputy, because he don't have no black sheriff deputies. The chief of police here, he don't have but one black police. And that ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just showing y'all the families, they didn't see no sign of racism. And I know the prosecuting attorney, I was disappointed on some of the ways she was frowning up and the way she was being arrogant and disrespectful to the public defender for doing her job. I was shocked that one of the state troopers, the little smart comment he made about the dog, and with Brent Douglas, who was one of the officers that supposedly chased down the defendant and took fingerprints. He has a history of corruption. You see, when I was being attacked by some individuals back in December of 2022, I called twice. He came both times and didn't record. He didn't even make a police report. He ended up quitting and going to the ambulance service as an EMT. That's what he is now. But you see, one thing about him, he don't like me. If you corrupt in one thing, you corrupt in everything. You don't just be corrupt part-time. And I seen that they used the body cam of one of the police in East Prairie to get a dying decorations. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But here it is, a body cam showed the sheriff, Brenton Farrow, his sergeant, Mike Boyer, or whatever is Boyer, and Captain Barry Morgan, a convict, been convicted. It showed them Barry Morgan using excessive force of tasing a guy, putting it in his neck. He down. He talking about stop resisting. The man ain't resisted damn time. I showed y'all the video before. Then Barry Morgan got a case from the Illinois State Police for shooting at a suspect who stole his truck from the state of Missouri, went into Illinois, and the State Highway Patrol later had him arrested for official misconduct and battery on a suspect. Not the one in East Prairie, but another one. So he got a history. But Brent Farrow, they supported him. You see what I'm saying? Prosecuting attorney didn't prosecute him. And I'm just showing y'all something. They history. This had nothing to do with the family. The family got a right. I would want justice for my son or daughter or anybody else. But the racism came not from neither one of these families. Neither one of these families needed all that security in this building. Both families went in this dollar store. We talked, we laughed and talked out in this parking lot. I seen on the news today about the conviction. But Channel 12 News, they discriminate too. You see, we have shootings, multiple shootings in the black community here in Charleston, Missouri. It's up to Robert Hearns, who probably rushed to the news media to tell him that the individual, the black individual that was accused of killing a white individual was convicted. He hurried up and got that on the news, but he ain't saying nothing about his crooked police. When I filed a complaint against Brent Douglas, the chief of police said, well, he said that you didn't give him a statement. It's all on my camera. You see what I'm saying? And it took a police officer that got 30 years experience that did a supplemental report. When I told him about it, he went and looked and seen that, and he put it in his report that I had made 2 calls, 911, and he sold the officer that showed up, Brent Douglas. You see, Brent Douglas is one that think he's a woman man. He was going out with one of the prosecuting attorney's female friends. But let's get to the female, the first one that testified. She was so arrogant. In any other courtroom, any other judge, they would have had something to say to her when she was disrespecting the public defender. Didn't nobody say nothing about it. But the public defender, she stood her ground when she was questioning this girl because she was catching her in so many lies. The one who created this whole thing, one finna go to jail probably almost for the rest of his life, and another one is in the cemetery. And the one that's in the cemetery got children by a decent female. A decent female. And that family that was out here, they was decent people. But this female that was on the stand, she had the audacity when the public defender was questioning her. She said, "Oh, you gonna let me talk?" Judge ain't said nothing. She should have been declared as a hostile witness. But then again, like I said, it's not on the families here, neither one of them, but this system here is a racial system. Last but not least, I've been tried in here before, and my jury was exactly the same as the jury of the defendant that just got convicted yesterday. They excluded all the blacks except one. That's what they did on his. They had two alternates. They got rid of them two. They was husband and wife. They was black. One black female and the rest white. That's not a jury of a peers of a black man. I don't care what nobody say. And like I said, another thing that the lawyer even said, the PD said, the public defender said, and I like what she said. She said, my client didn't kill the deceased. She said, whoever did, God is going to deal with him. That's a sign of a true attorney. She was doing her job to defend it, but the female prosecutor was too arrogant because she seen all the backup of all these police and sheriff deputies. But you can't back up all of that when God get in the middle. And you couldn't separate the two families to make them dislike each other or some type of fight. It wasn't nobody in there that was finna fight each other. Every time we came out, we talked and laughed and talked. Even the mother of the children of the deceased hugged one of the females that was the auntie of the defendant. And she even gave me a hug. But I'm going to leave it at this here. I'm praying for both families. And I give both families a thumbs up. Because we're not responsible of nothing that any of our grown children do. But I'm like this here. My son, he got high. Even though he got high, that didn't get nobody a reason to hang him. Anytime somebody is murdered unjustifiably, I feel justice to be done. But I can't say what happened because I wasn't there. But I can say one thing. That first witness that they put on the stand, she's a lie, ain't no truth in her. And God is going to deal with her if she don't ask for forgiveness, because she done caused one individual to be in the cemetery and another one finna get a lot of time, I'm assuming. I'm going to leave y'all with this here. I don't want nobody to try to misunderstand what I'm saying. And I have much respect for the family of the deceased, and they seen that. I got much respect for the sheriff deputies and the police officers, the chief of police from East Prairie, that showed me respect. I know some that don't like me, but that's your prerogative. You got that right. But I know how this system is. It's unjust. A black man would never get a fair trial. Hey, now. A black man would never get a fair trial in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, 33rd Circuit Court. I done tried to get people prosecuted, or people done attacked me that was thugs and gangbangers. When I came to court, we didn't have that type of security. You know why? Because the chief of police and the sheriff deputy and the prosecuting attorney, they can give a damn about Raymond, but I'm going to tell you somebody that do. God do. Peace be still.